Right. If I was to marry someone who's not Nigerian and I had to give up something, or someone that's not from the same culture, what would it be? Traditional wedding. I'll give that up straight away. But I think they'll like it too.
Now let's talk about now that you're married, and there are still cultural differences. As much as we want to look at the good sides, the benefits of having a mixed race child or having there would always still be the difference. Because I think half the time when parents don't want us to do this is because of dialect, I don't want them speaking a language I don't know.
They're afraid as well for their children.
Absolutely, I don't want you to get
Rightfully
lost
so.
and all of
Exactly.
that. Now let's talk about the cultural differences and how that impacts. And again, it will be an ongoing thing. I don't know that being understanding helps in that. Now I'm gonna hit home really, really hard, right? So Jennifer, I know you just had a baby, right?
Yes.
Okay, so a girl.
Yes.
Now, okay. Have you pierced her ears?
I haven't. Now, this is a very interesting topic. We're always debating it.
Right, okay.
Culturally, we pierce a baby's ears.
Girl, like 7 days we pierced?
Yeah. Her ears must be pierced. She's a girl. This is what we do.
Mm-hmm.
No, my husband's like, no, why would you cause her pain?
Oh, dear.
I'm like, no, it's not. She'll look pretty anyway. And he's like, she's already pretty as it is. And
No
I'm like,
pain, no gain. Haven't you told him that? There is no beauty without pain.
It's a tough one because, during the episode, we talked about things like ear piercing from birth. We talked about circumcision. We talked about a few other stuff. And I think maybe I don't mind giving up the ear piercing at the early stage, but things like circumcision is going to be a big one. It'll be a really big one, which I think is so important to actually talk about those things before getting married. Or it's a good thing for you to understand, because it's not one of those things that you would say if I was a man and I married a Caucasian woman, she would have to do what I want to do. If I was it's a tricky one, because you would have to imbibe the Caucasian culture. So if you're marrying outside of your African culture, there's a whole lot that you're gonna have to sacrifice, whether you're a man or a woman. So it's a tough one for me, I'd say, when it comes to circumcision. But then again, I need proof to know that. I don't know, it's a tricky one, It's a tricky one, because if I'm marrying somebody who is Caucasian, who is not circumcised, and I'm happy to marry them, we're able to birth a child together. So what's the big deal not having my child circumcised? Yeah. So I probably will sacrifice that as well, actually. I will. I definitely will do.
I'm assuming that it was easier on the other side. Was it easier that your now husband's family, did they embrace you?
Yes.
Or did it take a little bit of time for them to adjust to the fact that it's just all of a sudden come home with a black skin? We barely even see black skin.
Exactly.
Let's talk about that.
Because of how I knew my dad would take the situation, I just assumed that his family would obviously react the same way. So I went into this with low expectations, knowing that there'd be a fight or there'd be some kind of persuasion that needed to happen.
Yeah, right? Like you're a fighter. She's ready to fight.
I'll tell you. So I always say to my husband, some jokes are not appropriate for my African family, my African side of the family. I'm like, So now, whenever he's telling a joke and I look at him and he's like, "Oh, is it too white?" And I'm like, "Yes, it's like so far beyond too white. Like, let's stop right there."
Like, dude, you're crossing the line there.
No, stop. Or I'll kick him under the table and he's like, "Why are you kicking me?" I'm like,
"Oh, my guests were perfect, fantastic guests. I couldn't have picked a better group of girls. I think they had the life experience. In fact, they talked from experience, basically. And it was a good mix. It was just good to have Jennifer, who's a mixed race herself, but who's very, very African in her culture and married a Caucasian man, and Moi, who is a very African girl, very Nigerian girl, and is married to a Caucasian man. And both have kids. One is expecting a boy, and another is expecting a girl. Well, Jennifer had a girl. So it's kind of good to have that good mix. I think they did fantastically well. They exceeded my expectation, and it was an amazing episode. I would say you need to watch it, definitely.